With some items returning to the Rift, Riot is asking the player base to see what they want added back.
We've also been keeping an eye on the items that made a comeback at the start of the season. We're seeing high adoption rate from the champions who historically built these items, like Gunblade on Akali or Stormrazor on Aphelios and Jhin. We're happy to see them hit the mark so far with their core players. If there are any items you'd like to see return, please let us know. We might bring a couple more back at some point.
That's what they said in one of the recent dev updates. I say recent, but it was a little while ago, but I still want to talk about some of the popular items that we might want to see come back. So first up on my list is Prowler's Claw. It's a mythic item, so it would be naturally way stronger than the items we have in the game right now because it comes from a season where they had one mythic item that was supposed to be overpowered compared to the rest of your build. It was a really fun item to use, and it had some interesting mechanics depending on the character you played. Another option would be to increase the price drastically, making it a huge commitment if a player wants to build Prowler's Claw or another mythic item. Next, we've got Twin Shadows. It was more of a supportive item with an active. It added a lot of interesting depth to the game because you could use it to check out like a zone to see if it was clear or not, allowing you to make more educated decisions on what you're going to do instead of getting jumped from the shadows. Famous personalities have made a statement on this, Azap being one of them.
Please let us know. We might bring a couple more back at some point.
Twin Shadows! We need Twin Shadows back. That is the best item this game has ever had, and we need it back.
Next, I wanted to add Gargoyles because it was an interesting item for tanks. Compared to Sterix, it gave you control over when you used your shield to outplay your opponent. And I think these active items would add a lot of spice to the game that we don't have right now. And then last, which I don't think is even going to be an option, Banner of Command. I don't even know what kind of restrictions Riot would have to put on it to make it even fair to add back into the game. But if they did, it might be an interesting way for certain champions that might not be able to push waves to have the option to take over a side lane. I mean, if not only to defend against a split push from, say, an Azir, who is notorious for being able to take turrets when left alone. After that, I want to talk about an item that I want to see come back personally, Corrupting Potion. Over time, we've lost mana regen, even biscuits that are still in the game, and Corrupting Potion was removed for probably that same reason. But it would be interesting to have another option for your potion, if not another upgrade to your refillable. And if they still want to have a more unique effect instead of adding more HP than a normal potion, they can make it so instead of giving you mana, it takes mana away as it heals you. Maybe something like that could be an interesting way to take away from your laning phase while giving you something that you do need. Or who knows what they might add to it. And so that's one of the things. I want to see more consumables being added to the game. Because sure, HP potions are overpowered because it can completely negate an ability that another person uses. You can literally spend your gold to get a temporary buff that'll counteract a spell from your opponent. And with the way that resource management is handled in League today, we don't have the need for mana to be added to these consumables. So then they could get away with adding more interesting things to the potion besides just damage. And then my last idea, if I could pitch an item, it would be called Hermes' Letter. The name's a work in progress, but it's whatever. But here's the basis of what it would do. On a takedown, it grants you and the nearest ally an empowered recall, giving you the ability to push a wave in and then reset on time without losing any tempo. The cooldown would have to be longer than a set of waves, so you wouldn't be able to gank every single wave. It would probably be like once a cannon wave that you'd be able to do this. It would have to have stats like damage, haste, and attack speed if the jungler wants to buy this first, because they need it for the clear. But it could also be made a cheaper item that you might purchase secondary to help after laning phase with when you try to collapse on a side lane, giving you the chance to not only defend your base, but then move over and rotate to the objective that you actually want to fight for. I just think something like that would be interesting to the game, and I haven't seen anything like it, so I figured I might as well put my thoughts out there.